Okay, you got that new document posted up there on the site today, right?
The two definitions?
The discharge, public IOUs.
IOU and discharge, right. I got them up there about 40 minutes after you faxed it.
Okay. Well, that's the key thing that we're going to be talking about tonight, okay? After, day before, on last week, had Tom post up the right of discharge. And see, we are an allodial landowner because we own the land known as our body, a body of land. Okay? So we are an allodial owner. We own our persons outright. Okay? They have laid claim to them and placed them into a servitude. So we can come in and at the age of 21 and also fully at the age of 25 as the allodial owner and creditor, we can basically terminate all charges that are against these our persons, our allodial persons that are being held under their different servitudes, and we can discharge them. Just like in on all these court cases, you can walk into that court and you can discharge all those charges if they're commercial in venue. Yeah, if they're commercial, basically they're a foreign, and you can discharge them because all of those charges have to go back to the land. And you're the land, you're the owner of the land. And only you can discharge them. You go into bankruptcy, okay? You go and get an attorney and go into bankruptcy. Well, there's somebody else that appears into that bankruptcy court, and that is a U.S. trustee. The attorney is representing you on the public side. The U.S. trustee, U.S. trustee, United States trustee, is coming in and representing you on your private side.
Get out.
Because now he can discharge those charges for you. So he's got to be operating on your private side. But you could have done this yourself. Prior to 1868, when they brought in the 14th Amendment, if you go into Ballantyne or Anderson's Law Dictionary and look up discharge, okay, the definition of it, okay, basically one of the key things was that all items can be discharged. And there's 3 court cases that were addressed in that item. Okay? They were all court cases prior to 1868, prior to the Expatriation Act. That was in the de jure government of the country. They're still there. This commercial government that has taken over, they have to comply with those rules that are out there because that was in the Constitution. You have the right to discharge your public, your allodial public persons that are being held in commercial citizen servitude at any time if you're over the age of 21 and over the age of 25, fully. Only you can do this because you're the owner. Okay? You're the owner and the creditor of America. So you can basically come in and discharge them. And basically, I have the definition of discharge up there: an electrical charge being grounded, returned to the ground or the land. All charges have to go back to ground to be grounded. And you're the ground or the land that it has to come back to. When you go into the definition for IOU, those instruments that you are getting, those bills from the utility company, the company is sending those out as they are sending them out as the caretaker for the commercial account. Your commercial account is the debtor to you, is the one who owes you. That is what the IOU is for. Your debtor, public debtor, owes you. IOU. I owe myself. My public debtor owes me. So we have to come in and basically discharge his debt that he owes to us if we've been given the services. Now, the corporation does not have to put the funds into that account, that public account that they're holding, because the services have been paid. You can do that with a 1099-C. You come in as the on the 1099-C as the creditor. And then you're going to turn around and do, I'm trying to find a creditor here. Okay. We come in as the creditor. Our debtor person, okay, so he's on from that corporation. So you put down your debtor's name, care of that utility company. Put down their address and everything on there, and then the account number. The debtor's identification number will be your Social Security or his Social Security number. And then you cancel the debt. You've just discharged the debt. Now, if you paid anything out of your back pocket, then he still owes you for what you paid out of your back pocket. So then you would mark yes on that and claim that back on a 1041 form, but your creditor number is going to be your 98 series number. Your debtor's number is his Social Security number, his commercial number. That's the problem we were having. We were filling out the forms the wrong way. We were trying to charge the corporation. We needed to charge our account, our debtor person's account that was in care of that corporation. And then we would put his account number down there that is within that corporation. Now, one of the other big things in that discharge is the very last paragraph in small print there. To be construed a discharge for money. A paper need not contain the word discharge. Every receipt for money, which is not an accountable receipt, is a discharge for money. So you take your receipts and you would file a 1099-A for the abandoned money from those receipts. That would go back against the corporation. Like all your receipts do you get from the post office. You would turn around and do a 1099-A against them for the abandoned money. Then you would turn around and file a 1041 to basically get that returned. You do need to have that 1099 or that 98 or that foreign grantor trust, whether it's a 98 number or not, as long as they say it's a foreign grantor trust EIN, that's what you need to be able to complete the 1099-A, B's, C's, and OIDs. We were damn close on doing these, but after looking at this IOU process and fully determining who was who in the IOU scenario, then it started coming to light. The first one out of Anderson's dictionary, IOU, a popular designation for a due bill or memorandum of debt, consists of letters, a sum of money, and the debtor's signature. As it contains no promise, direct promise to pay, it is not a promissory note, but a mere acknowledgement of an indebtedness. Well, the I stands for really instrument that is being presented by the care of commercial account holder. They need us to do our dischargings in order for them to turn around and do their discharging back to the United States Treasury for their set-offs. And then everybody's happy. The O stands for the sum or the statement of the amount owed to the allodial owner, you. And basically, if you've got the service, then basically you say, okay, I discharge this debt. I had Tom post up a statement that you can put on pretty much any bill. You can modify it however you want to. Now, the part about the $300 penalty, that is a side issue with the IRS and with the government out there, in that they are trying to give us $300 because they've infringed upon our privacy, and they know damn well they have. The corporate world doesn't understand all that. They're just trying to get their books and records straight. Now, that document that I had Tom post up the other day is sort of like an affidavit of what I'd done before to go in and discharge my allodial persons public persons of their servitude and their obligations. And then I listed several different accounts there. You might have more, you might have less. Okay? I turned around and I sent that in, and both the federal district court that I'm in will be getting a hard copy of that. They got a fax copy Saturday or Friday. They will be getting a hard copy tomorrow morning. I also sent a copy to the bankruptcy court for this federal district.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything is in bankruptcy, so I might as well inform that court also. Have both of those courts working on that. I in turn turn around and modify that item for the state level. And then I will have my driver's license, my voter registration card, my certificate of live birth, and my title to my vehicle, my state documents listed on that one, and send that into the Secretary of State and copy the State Attorney General. And these are all private and confidential items. Now, if you have a passport, okay, you can use first-class mailing, postage and fees prepaid, permit number, and then you put your passport number on there. All your mailings are already paid for. The postal system has been utilizing our assets out here, our American allodial assets, to basically fund themselves because, like I said, all corporations have to zero their books at the end of the year. So they have to borrow the money initially from us. So anytime you're out there buying stamps or anything, you're turning around and you are basically gifting them out-of-pocket money and placing yourself into a further state of servitude to them. You're depriving yourself of your rights, your liberties. And liberties are your property. So take a look at these documents, go over them, try and understand them. You need to basically turn around and start taking notes, listen to this audio several times over until you get a good understanding of what I just said. But you can discharge anything that is associated with the commercial world. Even when you come out, okay, you will still be able to offset certain things out here because they're using, and you're still part of the nation, and they're using the nation's money. So, anybody out there that's trying to do anything different, okay? I mean, you take your mortgage, you go in and you discharge it. Now, if you paid out of your back pocket, you're going to turn around and do a 1099-C, put down the amount that you paid out of your back pocket, cancel the debt, but you're going to also mark yes that has to be paid back. Who did you make that payment to? You didn't make it to your account. You made it to the corporation or to the bank. Now, they owe you back that amount of money. That I would put it in through my person in care of that bank, as they were the caretaker of that account. It would be the initial caretaker that has the responsibility.
Patrick, you're referring to the to the capital letter name, correct?
Yes, that is your public debtor.
Yes, yes.
Yes, he's your allodial person. You own him, okay?
Right.
They don't own him. They've only got him in a servitude state, and he was only supposed to be there until 21 years of age.
Mm-hmm.
Until you discharged him from his responsibility. When I got out of the service, it was not the United States Navy that discharged me. It was me. I discharged myself. They just completed the process. But I was the one that discharged myself from the U.S. Navy. Yes, anybody that's in the service can basically discharge themselves if they've done 2 years of service or if they're over the age of 25. And then they can discharge their public debtor person that's being held in care of the United States government or the state government in a commercial servitude. Then you get all your assets, allodial assets, returned to you. But discharge is very, very big, okay? And this is why, in some cases, we haven't gotten payments for some of our money orders that we've been trying to do, is because the accounts that we're trying to get the funds out of have liens against them. We have to discharge all those liens, all taxes, whatever, because all those liens and taxes are really owed back to us as the allodial owner anyway. So what are we doing? We're self-leaning ourselves. Therefore, depriving ourselves, just like when somebody goes into jail. You're in jail there on your own cognizance. You could discharge yourself. If it's a commercial crime, criminal charge, all you have to do is discharge it. You don't wait around for the court or a trustee to come in and discharge you. You do it. Yeah. Basically, that's in one of the definitions. Basically, to set at liberty, to free from imprisonment, as to discharge a prisoner or a convict. And you, as the land, are the only one that can actually give a discharge. Because you're taking that charge to ground. You're grounding it. But you can, on the other hand, you can play like Zeus and have your lightning bolts and send them out as charges. Okay, I don't really know what more to say about this whole thing.
Patrick, at your last paragraph in your definition of discharge, of Anderson's definition, it's the term accountable receipt. That means a receipt on a transaction based on our straw man account, right?
No. That means you go down to the damn local hardware and you get a receipt. From that, you paid money, which is not an accountable receipt, okay? The accountable receipt is basically what they have in their cash register, but you got a receipt for money, which is not an accountable receipt. See, especially if, now this is only for the corporations that basically you know for sure that they have to go out and they're operating as a corporation. They have to borrow money to start up the next year. So they're borrowing money from the public treasury. That's why everything is basically prepaid. Yeah, see, when you put the 1099-A in, now you're reporting to the IRS that basically you paid that amount of money over to that other corporation. Now they're going to have to pay their taxes on it. They're also going to have to pay their usage tax that they have to pay, and then they also have to make the payment back to the Treasury
of the original sum borrowed.
So basically, you're going to get the 1099-A back. As you're claiming the abandoned money that's sitting out there in the system.
Now, is this going to affect the money orders we're now sending to the DHS?
Tom, I just said that basically we need to get the liens and everything else terminated.
Right.
So, yes, it might affect those until we get those terminated. But as soon as I sent a copy of that also into that privacy office to let them know that basically all liens and everything else are basically hereby discharged.
Okay, that's the discharge documents that we have.
Yes.
Okay. So we have to do those first before the money order.
Well, you should do it, okay?
Right. Okay, got that. Now, you said send this into the chief judge. Now, I'm in northern Ohio, and there's 4...
Wherever you want to send it to, Tom. I'm not going to tell you where to send it to, okay?
Well, you
ought to be able to read the instructions, okay?
Yeah, well, there's 4 courts in the district, and there's a chief judge in only one of them. That's in Cleveland. So I gather I send it there.
That's where I would send it to. And where's your bankruptcy judge? Okay.
Well,
is
there
it
is
for that district. Okay. Basically, send it to the district you're in.
Okay. A bankruptcy court would be in the district I'm in, but
I would send it to both of them at the same place.
Right. Oh, okay, and let them forward it. Okay. Now, I was going to ask, do we now sign as American Allodial owner rather than American private creditor? But based on what you just said, we should actually sign as American Allodial owner and private creditor. I'm thinking about on the discharge document.
How did I sign it on that document?
On the discharge document.
How did I sign it on the fax? Or basically address myself on the fax?
Okay.
Read the damn documents, please, Tom.
The discharge was American private creditor, but let me go look at the fax.
Yes.
All right.
You're an American Allodial owner of age, okay? If that's really what you want to have.
Yes.
Allodial landowner of age, whatever you want to put, okay? But allodial is big, okay? You need to look that word up in the dictionary. We don't do any allodial recordings down at the county courthouse. You already have an allodial inherent right by either your hospital birth certificate, by your certificate, or by your entry into your Bible, or by your naturalization papers. That's what made you an allodial inherent owner and creditor of the United States of America.
Okay.
One of those 3 documents. And those are private documents. Okay? You don't go and record any of this into the public realm. Otherwise, you're getting right back into their public system. You want to be in the private. You stay there.
Hey, Patrick, I just want to reiterate something.
Okay.
So basically, the gist of it, your 98 foreign branches is your private, and your Social Security number is your public. That's what they've been using.
Yes.
I try to print out your documents when I print it up on me, but this is where they've been cheating us and stealing from us by us not doing what you just said. Thank you.
We've been cheating ourselves is what we've been doing, okay?
Well, education, educating ourselves.
Yeah.
I appreciate your help.
Don't blame anybody except yourself, okay? Stop trying to blame everybody else out here for what you didn't fully understand how the system worked.
Mm-hmm. As we understand, we move on, right? Just let it be.
Yes.
Thank you.
This is not to be done with any UCCs or any codes or anything like that. This is per the Constitution. Your 3 year or 2 periods of your right of ages, 21 and 25. And then it's also addressed in the enacted Expatriation Act of 1868. Your right to discharge your allodial servitude persons. Okay, anybody have any questions, comments?
Hello, Patrick. How you doing?
Okay, what's up?
Nothing much. Matter of fact, I was just doing some 1099s and other forms right now to send them off on the bills on the exact subject of what you're talking about. Talk about synchronicity, huh? Because like I said, I've done stuff like this a long time ago, and every time they send me a bill, I send it in because people keep forgetting that anytime that they send you any kind of bills, those are actually coupons. They're money orders.
They're IOUs. They're IOUs.
Yeah, exactly. They are. All of them is IOUs. All of them.
Yeah, and you have to discharge them. Say, I discharge. Okay, that's the key thing. I discharge.
Yep. And you know, I even showed people proof of what I sent in, and you know, once upon a time it used to show up on the credit report, and then if I get a credit report now, it'll say set off or charge off. And they say, well, how's that done? I said, look, you know, I might even tell people about the Yahoo group. I said, you need to listen to this guy and listen to some of the audios, and maybe, just maybe, you might learn it. But I've been doing this for quite some time. Mm-hmm. And one of the main questions that I wanted to ask you, I was thinking about getting you know, because I need a place to live. So I was thinking about trying to get a foreclosure, and if I get all the paperwork on a foreclosure, to apply the same principle. And I was wondering, you know, because I have the 98 EIN number, you know. So why
don't you just go and discharge yourself out of the system, get your allodial property, and then go out and basically do a 1099-A and acquire the property outright in the project.
Yeah, well, you was just talking about that. I was just throwing that out as an idea.
You throw a money order into this privacy office. They're going to be our interface with the Department of the Treasury or the Secretary, or not the Secretary of the Treasury, to the United States Treasurer to basically process that. They will issue the warrant over to the money order warrant over to that United States Treasurer to issue a Treasury check out to whoever you want it to go to.
Thank you. See, you said exactly, maybe I'm not that charismatic in words, but you said exactly how I was thinking it. Yeah. You know, because if this other process that I'm doing, if that stuff works, has worked, then why not learn something from a mentor?
You have to get all your liens and everything else removed off of your accounts.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And that's why you have to do that other document and send that into the district court and then also to your state to remove all the assets off your vehicle and everything else.
Yes. Because I even earlier ago I read a paper and it was speaking about the private and the people that actually works for the public. And one thing I noticed that it didn't say, it did not talk about everyone out here in the world that's in the public. It worded it in such a way that it did not mention the public, and it was saying who actually pays the debt, the public. And I went, uh-oh. So I'm going to wind dock that file, and I'm going to send it up to the group so they can see it for themselves, right? What this specific paper, and it's just a one-pager, what it actually said, and it has their rules and their laws on it. And it's telling you that if you're in the private, they cannot deal with you. You know, it's not like you're a ghost. They are the ghosts. And they know it.
Yeah. Let's see, you walk in court and basically say, I discharge this court.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And basically, you come in, you are the highest court. They are just an administrative court in all their endeavors. They're just wannabes, okay?
Yep.
They want jurisdiction over you, and they want you to basically refuse to discharge it.
Yeah. It's like what you said several months ago. It's belief. You know, it's like they want you to believe in a system that actually don't exist because it's made up, and then they will bully you into it. See, when you mention that just gave me a whole lot more courage than what I had before. Okay, so I don't fall for those tricks. You know, and like let's just say if they kidnap me, put me in the vehicle. Well, you know, I'm gonna file a claim against you for kidnapping, man harvesting, and usually I try to get a guy as a warning. And a lot of them, they do listen, you know. And I said, I'm not trying to fit into your system. I even sent Jesse Weiss and stuff to tell him, look, I'm not into this. And I sent off a couple of your papers to him to let him know I'm not into this. I'm clearing up this matter. And I do know in order to be part of the private, you have to set off all of your debts, all of them. Because you're supposed to go in peace. So you have to set off that old stuff to go into the new. And that's all I wanted to say, Patrick. And also, thank you.
Okay.
Is this Libra, Max?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
Could we get his email? Is he's a part of the group? I want to know if we can get his email address because I think on the last call he was talking about the transition numbers on the bank accounts, and I wasn't too clear. So I wanted to know if I was able to email you.
You're on the group. Talk to him on the group.
I did. I sent an email out and I hadn't heard back. That's why I'm mentioning it now.
Right, but talk to him on the group.
What number are you trying to get? What number are you trying to get?
I wanted to get a little more understanding when he talked about the transition numbers on the last call when you were off the call.
What transition number?
Transit number.
The routing number, bank routing number. Okay? That's what you're really talking about is the bank routing number. Okay? Like on your checks, your regular commercial checks that you have.
Right.
The first number that's on the bottom is the bank's routing number.
Right. I understand that, Patrick, but see, on the call, because you had dropped off the call, he had mentioned that there were just not the routing number and your account, but there's also the transit number, which is actually connected to the credit side of the account once your debit side is closed down. And that's why I wanted to ask him about it. Because
basically, when you shut this all down, you're going right to the Treasury, okay? And you've got the only two numbers you need to have. You've got your 98 series number or your foreign grantor trust number, whatever it is. That's your routing number,
okay.
Your routing number. And then you have your account number, which is going to be your registration number, your certificate of live birth, registration, or your naturalization number.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
That's the only two numbers you need to have in the Treasury routing system. In the commercial bank routing system, yeah, you might need to have that transition number, but basically we're closing that sucker down.
Gotcha. All right.
Okay?
Yes.
Hey, Patrick, I got a question.
Yeah.
I don't know how important this is, but I did learn something about when you say an allodial, I hear that was a conflict that I'm trying to resolve, but it's, I was told it was called lodium. If you say allodial, could it be misconstrued? It's like amoral or something like that? And to use the right terminology, do we supposed to say lodium, not allodium? I just the question was, I'm not sure, and I figured you're probably better at words than I am.
It all depends on however you want to pronounce it, okay?
Oh,
I say allodial.
Yeah, when I can hear A on it, I just wondered if hearers' ears would interpret that as like amoral or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And then leave it open to interpretation, because when you use specific words, they have a specific meaning, and they cannot play with them, you know, like a noun. So
I think you need to look up the word allodial.
yeah, I've looked it up in the dictionary, but that's just a question I had. I don't know if it means anything, but I just thought maybe somebody.
It basically stands. It's from the Low Latin allodium, every man's own land, which he possesses in his own right, without owing any rent or service to a superior. That's what allodial is.
Yeah, that's my interpretation.
Okay.
I mean, correct.
Then you just say that, and basically they will know what that word means. Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay. If not, you break out to say you better go and look up the dictionary. Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't understand what the hell I'm saying, you go and find it out.
Yeah.
This is my interpretation. I'm the one that's the living person here. You're operating in a servitude position.
Yes, I realize.
You take orders from me. Okay.
Yeah, I realize that's a really good position.
Okay.
And it's really covered well. Thank you.
Okay.
That sounds like something Win Miller says. You can't put the A in this adverb verb stuff. He's just getting mixed up.
David Wynn Miller, basically, he's all screwed up, in my opinion. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, me too.
You guys can have whatever opinion you want about him, but I don't think he knows half of what the hell he claims to think he knows.
And all the long string of wins that he claimed don't exist.
And all you have to do is listen to what he said. He said he has 4 billion followers.
Yeah.
The things he says don't make any sense at all.
Yeah, well, Hitler had a whole bunch of followers, too. Look where it ended up for those people and where it ended up with him, too.
He makes statements that are totally unbelievable that couldn't be true. So then you couldn't believe the rest of what he says if he makes such outrageous...
Well, if you think about it, if you use common sense, yeah, everything he's saying doesn't make sense. But for the most part, most of these people out here that are following him don't have any damn common sense. They can't think for themselves. They got to have somebody else out there telling them what to think. First
thing I thought when I heard him was, if the common man cannot understand what he's talking about, it's no good. It's no good.
The language that he comes up with is even more convoluted than the legal language.
That's right. It's worse than having attorneys, right? We have this army of attorneys. Now we just need to go to him. You know, it's even worse.
And he only charges $3,000 to talk to you.
Yeah, and 10,000 to send you a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last guy's probably got it mixed up with him, but there's a lot of stuff out there to mix people up that just follow people and don't do any reading. But thank you guys.
Okay.
This is Steve. I got a question.
Yeah, Steve,
on the U.S. Federal Merchant Mariner, canceling your Social Security account, and you say here, based upon my American President affidavit and executive order.
No, forget that one, Steve.
Oh, okay.
Go to the one to where it is my American Right of Discharge document that I had Tom post up in that, and you posted that into that Homeland folder, right, Tom?
Yes.
It's on May 9th.
And it's the name of the file, right, May 9th, My Right of Discharge Example.
Okay, I'll write this down.
Yeah, there's a large number of documents since about May 5th. But a lot of documents went up May 9th, and then the 10th and the 11th.
I'm just finding one for today. The discharge and the IOU is into one document,
right.
Correct?
The two definitions.
That was just one document that I sent Tom this morning.
Okay.
Is this in private Homeland documents?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. My right of discharge example, is that the one? My right of discharge?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Okay, I'm done.
Patrick, we don't have to do the OIDs, just 1099-C and the 1041.
Well, no, we'll do the OIDs later, okay?
Okay.
When you pay out of your back pocket, or when you take your American assets and you do a money order with them to pull them out and send them over to the Treasury, you're going to the discount window of the Treasury. They're giving you a discounted value.
Mm.
So you have to turn around and claim that discount back. Just like when you pay out of your labor out of your back pocket. You're getting a discount for car back in 67 cost about $2,500. Brand new, off the dealer's lot. Today, that same automobile costs roughly $25,000, 10 times the amount by inflation. So you're not going to get the full inflation compensation back, because basically that vehicle, pretty much the same amount of materials went into making that vehicle back in 67 as it does today. Some cases a little less, but they put all this extra smog shit on there, so basically you can take about 1,000 pounds or better off of the damn vehicle and still end up with a hell of a lot better vehicle than what they give you right now. You get better gas mileage and everything else by taking half their damn garbage off. And see, once you get into the private, you can do that. Talked to one of the guys out in Idaho that basically was telling me about this one guy for about $5,000. He took one brand new pickup in and turned around and had half of all that damn smog device and everything taken off. Souped up the suspension a little, just about like in the movie. Trying to think of what the hell it is now. There was one movie out there to where these guys took these little cars and they took off all the smog device and a bunch of other stuff. Took about 1,000 pounds off these little cars. and souped them up, and basically then they could carry a hell of a lot more, better suspension and everything else. Faster. And that's what this one guy did for $5,000. He got, went from like about 8 gallons to the mile up to about 20-some. By taking off all their damn smog device and everything, because most of the smog device and everything else out there is really, that is what is causing more harm to people than anything. The catalytic converters and stuff like that, the gases that are coming out of these automobile engines, they're not burning clean. Hell, a damn 67 or 57 Chevy went head-to-head with some of these modern cars on the test for smog device, and it burned cleaner than these new vehicles do. Yeah, all this stuff that's coming out of these cars basically is causing a lot of the cancers and everything out here, too. Not secondhand smoke, okay, from cigarettes. It's the stuff that's coming out of the combustible engines.
Yeah, just ride your bike for a while and you'll smell it.
Yeah.
When a car takes off, it just gasses you.
Or live out in the country and then go into town, and basically you'll notice the difference, the air quality.
Hmm.
And see, that's one of the key things out here that's brought out in that movie, Burlesque. You have air rights, right of air over where you are. See, there's been a whole bunch of genetic stuff going on by Monsanto and everything. And basically, they come in, and so they have their pollination drift over into some other farmer's field that he's trying to do non-genetic farming. Well, who has interfered with whose air rights? Monsanto is the one that interfered with the air rights of that non-genetic farmer.
If somebody's messing with their papers a lot, could you stop fiddling around with papers?
Who's signed in California? I'm going to mute him.
Yeah, and towns shouldn't really have more than 20,000 people. After that, like most towns that are 20,000, people work close distances to where they live, and when it goes over that, it all commutes, and the air quality goes down exponentially.
And you spend all your time traveling on a parking lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When the traffic is, can't handle, the roads can't handle the traffic.
Yeah, but do you think they would turn around and do something like what they do down in Brazil or in Argentina into some of the major cities down there to where they have buses that go in one direction down the street constantly and then turn around and 2 streets over, the buses turn around and come back the other direction. They're all operating on soybean fuels. Burning clean. They don't have the vehicles on the road. Everybody uses these buses, these tram buses. They're basically maybe about 3 or 4 buses connected together when they get into downtown. This country is by far way behind modern technology because we've been deprived of it by the corporations.
Yeah, I spent
the
a lot
rail
of time
system here in this country sucks big time. Why? Because they want the rubber on the highways.
Yes. That's why they got rid of the streetcars in, what was it, 52?
Pretty close to that. There's still a few of them still running around.
I spent a lot of time in Prague in the Czech Republic in the 90s. And they have a great subway system and streetcar system. And it's a very clean city over there. I enjoyed it.
Okay, let's get back to the subject. I discharged. Anybody have any problem in understanding that you are the discharger? You're the only one that can order a discharge?
Got that.
How does that work if you want to do a countersign countermand? Does it still work?
For what?
For like a court case.
You discharge it.
Right.
You don't do a countermand. You discharge it.
Just discharge it and don't expect nothing back.
Well,
or you can do a claim. You can do an abandonment later. Yeah. Right.
Like on what? A traffic ticket?
Well, yeah. Like what happened to me. I did my countermand before when they got impounded my truck, and they just said to send it to Revenue Recovery. I sent it to them, and they didn't respond. I give them a notice to cure. Don't hear anything, so I'm thinking I'm going to get some money or something, or go bill the county supervisors. If I just discharge it, it all goes away, but I'm still out the money unless I go do an OID.
You turn around. You can do a 1099-C against them and say that now they have to pay that back to you. Yeah. You mark the box, yes.
Right. Yeah, I did that.
Okay.
I gave him a 1099-C.
But you don't give it to the court. You give it to whoever took the vehicle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I did it to the court on the charges that they tried to charge me.
Well, no. But see, there you discharge. I discharged. The charge was not against you.
Yeah.
They gave you an IOU.
Right.
That traffic ticket was an IOU. Your fictional person owed you that charge.
Right.
Okay, because all charges have to come back to the landowner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Right.
So you discharge that. Now, if basically there was and then you give a 1099-C, but you would make it out to your fictional person in care of that court.
Okay.
Okay? See, we were trying to put the 1099-Cs in against the court. No, you have to put it in against your person, your debtor person, your public person in care of the court.
Right.
Or in care of the Department of Transportation. Okay? And then basically on there, you would claim if they had a parent's bond, you would turn around, you discharge the charge, and you turn around and charge the court to have the payment for that appearance bond made to you. So now you put them under the obligation. Now they have to discharge their charge that they have. And the only way that they can discharge that charge is to basically give you the payment. See, it's all about charge and discharge.
And do that with a 1099-C.
Yeah, you can turn around and do it with 1099-C, or basically turn around and do it with a 1099-A against your fictional person, but have the court process that back to you. they're the ones they're the caretakers of your fictional person.
Okay.
So you put down your, like my case, Patrick Devine, care of this shithead court, and then put down the address and everything, and then the account number is going to be the driver's license number, but the identification number for my debtor person is going to be his Social Security number, and then I will come in as the creditor with my 98 or my foreign grantor trust EIN number and claim that as abandoned property.
Right, so we're not going to ever use that Social Security termination document. Just can that, huh?
No.
No?
This document that I have up here is going to terminate that.
Oh, okay. I was looking at the U.S. Federal Merchant Mariner Civilian quote Foreign Service
document. Forget that document.
Okay, I will. That's what I thought.
That's old, okay?
Yeah.
You need to look at this right of discharge document that I have up there.
Right, I'm looking at this example.
And understand that. Okay?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It says private and confidential example. My American Allodial right of discharge.
Yeah, but you go down to number 2. Yeah. I here and now stand to discharge my allodial persons, Patrick Devine and Patrick Paul Devine, of all their U.S. and I'm doing one for the state here, Iowa citizen pledges, debts, taxes, liens, charges, and commercial contract usage obligation.
Right.
Now,
yeah, I didn't see this one. This one's I had a busy week. This one got by me here. I'm looking at it right now, though.
Yeah, and then see, we discharge all of those items, and then we turn around and we charge this court or the state. So we now place a charge against them for the return of our allodial assets to purge all the records, the public records, and return our assets.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I see what you're doing now.
And see, it all comes right out of that definition in Anderson's dictionary about discharge.
Right. I'll read it
see,
and write
everybody was looking at these bills wrong when you get them from the utility company. They are basically IOUs that the utility company is sending out to you, and the IOU is your debtor's person's name on there, but they're sending them to you in the private. Now, the federal government totally understands that. That's why they have that $300 penalty for infringing upon your privacy. But these state and these local shitheads, they don't want you to know that you have privacy, right of privacy.
Yeah, because communists don't allow any private property.
But we do have private property. We have allodial property. Okay? And that's one thing they can't take away from us.
Yeah, I'll look up that word, too. I mean, you described it tonight, but I'll look it up and read it and write it, and then you know it.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. I'm cleared up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Anybody else? Other questions, comments, or anything?
Hey, Patrick, how you doing?
Okay, what you got?
Oh, no, this is Kevin. I'm just calling in, announcing myself. This is Kevin.
Okay. You just now coming on?
Yeah, I just came on. I missed the calls a couple of times, but
you're going to have to go and listen to this over again. Okay.
Yeah, I probably will, but I was just curious that we're dealing with Homeland Security files now as opposed to the other stuff.
Well, we're dealing with. You need to listen to this audio and then go in and download the latest files that were posted up over the last 3 or 4 days in that Homeland Security folder, okay?
Right. Okay. Homeland Security. Okay, I got that. I'm in that section now.
Okay.
Patrick, most of my stuff I'm discharging is now in Ohio, but I still have some property in Nebraska, so I send that stuff to Nebraska, right?
If you have anything that's identified to the state of Nebraska, yes.
Send it there, right.
Yeah, you would have to do one for the state item, but you would also address all your items to this federal district court on your document that you want to terminate.
Right.
Or discharge, that you're discharging all those obligations.
That would be the district court in Nebraska for the Nebraska matter.
No, you would do the district court to where you're in for the last 180 days, 160 days.
Okay. Well, I'm almost 160 days.
Okay.
I'm 120 days right now.
Well, whatever you could find out what the time frame is. Basically, it's pretty much you'll find that addressed in the bankruptcy.
Okay, we'll do.
How many people on there, Tom?
31.
31? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, nobody else has a question?
That's about what we normally have. It says 31 to 35.
Okay. Nobody else has a question?
Guess not.
Okay. Go ahead and end the call.
Okay.
You guys go out there and start listening to this again. Basically, take notes, record the thing, pull up those documents, highlight them until you understand what is going on. Okay? The answer is right here. Okay?
Well,
this is the only answer. Okay?
Yeah, I prepared mine over the weekend. I'll have to go review it and make the appropriate changes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You guys
Thank
take
you very
care.
Much.
Good night.
Okay. Bye.